And now joining us to discuss Israel's position on the threat of a nuclear Iran is Brigadier General Relik Shafir, who took part in the daring Israeli Air Force strike on the Iraqi nuclear reactor in Operation Opera back in 1981. Brigadier General Shafir, thank you for joining us today. Just to start, what's your initial response to these talks that we saw between the United States and Iran over the weekend?
I think it's a positive note. And let's hope that if there is an agreement, it will curtail Iran's capability of advancing towards a nuclear weapon. And if not, then the only option would be a military one.
Now, if it does come to striking these nuclear sites in Iran, can you tell us a little bit about what that strike might look like? Is this something that Israel can do alone? And do you estimate the strikes would be limited to nuclear sites or possibly also key IRGC sites as well?
Nothing is off the table. Of course, Israel can strike alone, as had been shown in April. And the question is, what will be the outcome? Israel can hit the nuclear plan, which is placed in about 33 sites. Some of them are, the most important ones are heavily guarded by a lot of rock and cement. And let me just explain, for the sake of our viewers, the heaviest weapon that the U.S. bombers, the B-2, can carry is a 25,000 pound bunker buster, and the heaviest load that our F-15s can carry are about 3,000 pounds. So the difference is foursome, and so you can understand that Israel can hurt Iran, but it cannot destroy the nuclear program. For this, you need a strategic air command, as the United States have. About hitting the targets, of course, not just in nuclear sites, but other sites might be in the making, either IRGC or others, like their ability to ship oil out of Iran, which are vulnerable targets. But that remains to be seen as we make decisions with the Americans.
Now, I know that many Iranians are actually wondering what's taking Israel so long, and they view such a strike, in some cases, as a lifeline for them against a very unpopular regime. Does Israel have a long-term strategy on Iran based on what you know and the information that you have?
Israel has a capability and plans, obviously, that have been, the Israeli Air Force has been training for many, many years for that eventuality. But I doubt whether this will take place without the U.S. support and permission, so to speak. And that remains to be seen with President Trump keeping Israel as a proxy for attacking Iran, but giving a chance to the talks at present.
Now, finally, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience and how does the challenge of a nuclear Iran today compare with the threat from Iraq in 1981? Is this operation more complex or dangerous?
No, I wouldn't say that, because today the Air Force can deliver weapons from a distance, from afar. And Israel has, I would say, complete superiority with the U.S. Air Force supporting it all the way to Iran, because Iran has virtually no Air Force, and their high-end anti-air missiles have been hit in 2024 by us. So the question of danger is difficult to judge, but at the time, 1981, we had to hit the targets in close proximity from direct bombing from a couple of thousand feet. And the area was surrounded with missiles. It's a flat area, or it was a flat area. And at least the supposition was that 2 of the 8 airplanes would be shot down happily That was not the case, happily, certainly for me and my buddy Ilan Ramon, who were last in the line, about 12 seconds behind the leader.
Now, we know that after the nuclear reactor in Iraq was destroyed, there was some pushback in the international media, while at the same time behind closed doors they were saying, thank God that this happened and that Israel did this. What do you expect the response would be if Israel is indeed forced to act against the Islamic regime?
The word forced to act, I think, is misplaced. Wants to act is different. And I think the world will understand the reasons it's been going for such a long time that the Iranians have been clearly cheating on the inspectors. And both the Europeans are more worried than the Americans, because the missiles that Iran is planning or wants to use can reach European capitals as well. So I think the world is actually looking for relief from the threat. But that remains to be seen, because the international scenario is quite difficult, because remember that, for instance, the Chinese, who are supporting Iran, have a quest for attacking Taiwan. And that curtails somewhat the ability of the United States, or the will of the United States, to use direct attack, but they would rather use Israel as a proxy.
All right, well, unfortunately, we are out of time, but I want to thank you for joining us today on the broadcast, and of course, wish you a happy Passover to you and your family. Brigadier General Relik Shafir, thank you.